Okay, I'm a shtickle bal chesed from yesterday's daf. I went very quickly at the end, and so let's go over yesterday. Tanur Rabbanon. Let's start from Tanur Rabbanon, where it's I don't know, it's about 25 lines up. You see the Taisvis Hurasa Shle B'Kedusha V'Leidasa B'Kedusha, right? So if you go down a few lines below that, it says Tanur Rabbanon. Ish. It says ish kol she'er b'sarai. Right. It says ma tamad lai ma ish. The Rabbi says akutim shemusharim al arayis ki Yisrael. That the bnei Noach, they're musar on arayis. They're warned that one of the 7 mitzvahs is arayis, and the parsha that we're giving now is a parsha, our parsha. Ish as kol she'er b'sarai like sakrivu legala servasa. So it seems the source for Ben Noach's arayos is the same source as the Jew, Ish. Fred the Gemara, that's not what we said. We said by Yitzhava Hashem Elokim al Adam Lamar. The Lamar in that pasuk in Bereshis, that was the source. That was the source. Says the Gemara, Fred the Gemara, Bahame Hacha Nafka. You learn it what from Ish. May Hasam Nafka. You learn it from Lamar. Segili Aroyas. And for the Gemara, Hasam Ba'aroyas did who? Over there, it's speaking about their Aroyas. The Hacha Ba'aroyas did done. And here it's speaking about our Aroyas. So there's 2 parshas of Aroyas. There is a Ben Noach that is Muzar on his parsha. That's Parsha Lamar. And then there's our parsha. And as we're going to see, the nafkamina would be Nairu Marasa. Meaning, since in the parsha of a goy, Nairu Marasa does not exist, right? In order to mechayev them, it would have to be based upon the pasuk of ish l'rabbis, which is our pasha. So again, we're being machmir with this. We're being machmir by having 2 parshiyos. Lamar is the original ashara to the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, but that would only be musar on 6, as we'll see as the Gemara develops today, 6 isurim. That there are only 6. By going ahead and adding this, it's adding others. It says the Viktani Seifa, ba ala royos Yisrael. If a guy is boil on one of the arroyos of a yid, need them bedina Yisrael. They're going to get Yisrael, and it's brought down. The Rambam as the halacha. He said, guys, if a guy is boil in Nayim Rasa, now in guy land, there's no such thing as arusa, because it says bu'ul asbal. That's what Avram told Avimelech. So there is no parsha of arusa. What's the parsha of arusa by Jew? So if a guy would be boil in Aram Rasa, you know what he'd get? Skila. He wouldn't get Sayif. He'd get Skila because he doesn't exist. And that's what it means over here. Ish l'rabbis, that a guy will be in our parsha, in the parsha, a Jewish parsha, which does not exist from Lamar. Lamar is the Goyish parsha. That's the parsha of Sayif. The my hilchasa, I just told you. Rav Nachman Amar Rav Avu Alei Nitzchel Le'eda ve'eda masrok. It's a havamina is what that for the Jew, you would need Edim and Asra and Dayanim and Fredig with Migra Gora. We didn't understand that. It's going to be more Machmir. That for his Arayas, you need 1 Dayan, 1 Eid, and no Asra. But if he's over Jewish law, you need what? 2 and 2? Elam and Asra. Elam Rabbi Yochanan like Nitzach Elam Rasa. As I just told you, you need it for Naim Rasa. Dilitu less lahu. It doesn't exist in the realm of the guy. So, but therefore, we're going to judge if a guy is what with an Rasa, we're going to judge the guy what based upon Jewish law. He'll get skila. Aval Eishes Ish Bedina did who, but Eishes Ish, which exists in their realm, we're going to go ahead, they'll be judged according to Sayif. Fred Gemara Vatanya, Balanam Rasa Nidam Beskila, Eishes Ish Nidam Bechenek and not Sayif. Chenek is our law, correct? Chenek is our law. A guy is Sayif. This is Chenek. Chenek for adultery is Chenek. Says the Gemara of Ibedina did who, and if it's speaking about Ardin, Sayif who, you need Sayif. Rav Nachman Yitzchak, Ma Yeshes Ish, Tiktani, you know what it means, Yeshes Ish? It doesn't mean Mamish and Yeshes Ish. It means Kigoin, Shenichmasa L'chuppah, V'lai Nivala. No, it's an Yeshes Ish by Jewish law, but it's not an Eishes Ish by Goyish law, because why? The marriage wasn't consummated. The Lihitu less lahu. It doesn't exist by them. So therefore what? We won't judge an Eishes Ish of Sayif. In other words, If the guy had consummated the marriage and then the guy was with, they would get sayif. If the marriage was not consummated and what, then you would get what? Chenek. You would get chenek. Why? Because that's a Jewish law. Because you don't need the consummation of a marriage to be an ish. The Tani Rav Chanina, Bulas Baal. It says by Avram Avinu, Avimelech, Akash Baruch comes to Avimelech in a dream and says, return her, right? Because she's a Bulas Baal. So he's warning Avimelech that Sarah was the Bulas Baal. Yesh lahem, Bulas Baal yesh lahem, Nechnesel lechup v'lay nivala, ein lahem. Very geschmack. So now, Rabbi Yochanan's Mechadesh, guys, Rabbi Yochanan's Mechadesh what? That with the Pasha of Ish, to be Marbra Goy in Jewish law for things, for Aroyas, that they wouldn't be what? Part of in Goyish law, right? Naimarasa, good. Tanya Kavasi Rabbi Yochanan, Kol Erva, Shebezdin Shel Yisrael. Guys, this is important. Let's get this down. Kol Erva, Shebezdin Shel Yisrael, Mamitin Aleha. Any Erva that a Bezdin Yisrael would, what we call Chayve Mises Bezdin. Ben Noach Muzar Aleha. A Ben Noach is Muzar on this. Ain Bezdin Shel Yisrael, Mamitin Aleha. If Bezdin Yisrael is not Mamitin Aleha, let's say, guys, it's an Issachorus. Guys, it's an Issachorus, right? An Issachorus, Bezdin can't go ahead and administer the chorus. So if it's a Bezdin Shel Yisrael, then in that case, if Bezdin Yisrael, Ein Ben Noach Muzar Aleha. Divrei Reb Meir. So it comes out like, guys, like Reb Meir, the whole parsha of Aroyas by a goy is based upon what? If what they do, Chai Mises Bezdin. So, right. So, for example, Eishes Ish. Eishes Ish is Chenek. Maybe Chayev, right? So we'll see the others also, but predominantly, okay. So if it's an Issachorus, so for example, fellas, sister. If a guy was with his sister, a sister is an Issachorus. So like the rule of thumb of Rabbi Yochanan, they're not Musar. They're not warned about that. Why? Because in Jewish realm, it's only an Issachorus. Guys, you good? Okay, so guys, one more time. Let's set up for this. Okay, we're doing the parsha of Ben Noach. What exactly is the gather of their aroyos? Now we said there's two parshiyos. There's the parsha of totally in the Goyish world, and then there's a parsha when they're over something that would not be over in the Goyish world, but would be over in the Jewish world. We gave two examples. One, Nair Murasa. There is no parsha by Goy of Murasa. It doesn't exist. Sveitans, you go ahead, you get married, but you didn't consummate the marriage yet. You're given over, so you didn't consummate the marriage yet. Good? So, a goy would be potter. What happens if a goy is boiled in Amurasa? They get skila, not sayif. What happens if a goy is boiled a woman after what? After she was nichnas the chuppah, ve'ena what? She went into chuppah and was not, marriage wasn't consummated. He would get chenek, would not get what? Would not get sayif. Good? Those are the two pashas. Tanya Kavase, we're now going to be a brisa as a raya, guys. Now we're going to be a brisa as a raya. Tanya Kavase, Rabbi Yochanan. Kol erva shebezdin sheyisrael mamitin aleha that chayve mises bezdin ben noach muzar aleha ein bezdin sheyisrael mamitin aleha ein ben noach muzar aleha divrei Rabbi Meir. Now this is not the raya. This is simply, guys, a statement that the parsha of a goy is only based upon the parsha of mises bezdin by a yid. But if it's a mises bezdin by a yid, then there's no parsha by the goy. The chachamim ma'imrim harba aroyos she'ein bezdin sheyisrael mamitin aleha. There's many parshias that Bezdin cannot administer a misa, and nonetheless the guy will be musa. Okay, here is the raya, guys. Bo al aroyas Yisrael, nidim bedina Yisrael. If they're boy on an erva of Yisrael that does not exist in their realm, right? Then they're going to be nidim be Yisrael. I'll fill you in. Nair Murasa, skila. The guy will get skila. There you are. That's the word. That's what's going to happen. Bo al aroyas shel ben noach. If they boil a kutis. Ben Noach, they're going to get sayif. For anu ein lanu, all we have is what? Ela nairum rasa b'bad. All we have what is nairum rasa. Good, but now, fellas, I told you there's a second case. Nichnis l'chuppah, not bulas baal, right? That's chenek. I by a goy it's sayif. So l'chari you have a second parsha that is this distinction. On that the Gemara says the nechshav nami nichnis l'chuppah v'loy nivala. That by our parsha it's chenek, and their parsha it doesn't exist. Says Gemara, Hay Tana Tana Bei Menashehu, Dama Kamisa Amurul Bei Noach, Eina Ela Chenek, and Idivi Cheneku. You know why we didn't go ahead and consider this? Because no nafkamina. Whether it's in the Jewish world or that world, it's chenek. We wanted to say that usually it's sayif. Usually it's Sayif. Good. And therefore we have Skila. This Tana holds that, you know what? It's Chenek. Their world is Chenek. So it's Chenek Skila. And you know why you need to bring the case of what? Nichnas l'chup of nivala? Because then it'll be Chenek Chenek. Because by us, that's an Eish Ish. So therefore you didn't bring it because there's no nafkamina in the type of death you get. Okay, that finishes the raya to what? To Rabbi Yochanan. We're now going to revisit Reb Meir's din, and Reb Meir's din we're going to see a difficult sugya in a second, guys. But B'ez Hashem, I'll try to bring it home. So there's a difficult sugya on the shita of Reb Meir. What exactly is the parsha of Ben Noach? State in the Torah, Leimar, Gilei Aroyas. What is Gilei Aroyas by a guy? So Reb Meir says it's pshat. Reb Meir is pshat. If a Jew is Musar and Mrs. Bezdin, a guy is Musar. If a Jew is not Musar, Mrs. Bezdin, meaning Bezdin can't administer because it's an Issachar, a guy would not be. Good? Very good. So that's Amamad. Going back over the Savar, Freg Gemara, the Savar of Meir, Kol Erva, She Bezdin Shel Yisrael, Mamitin Alecha, Ben Noach Musar Alecha. Is that true? V'hatanya. Guys, let me give you the heads up. We're going to bring in a long-winded brisa, and it's going to disagree with this statement. And we're going to say there's two Reb Meirs. There's Reb Meir according to Reb Eliezer and Reb Meir according to Reb Akiva. Okay? That's going to be the teretz to the Scott. That's going to be the teretz. We're going to bring this teretz in. Okay. V'hatanya. Ger shahoisa hayrasai shalai bikdusha v'leidasai bikdusha. A ger. The conception was the mother was a gayata. The mother was a gayata. She got pregnant. Consequently, she converted. So the Leda was Bikdusha. Guys, the same din that we're about to go would be on a full-fledged Geiris, meaning that the conception was when she was a Jew, and certainly the Leda when she was a Jew. So for various reasons, for only one reason, maybe we'll do the reason they brought this case in. But for all intents and purposes, she's a full-fledged Geiris. So let's keep it at that. It'll make things much easier. There's enough here to make it difficult, not to make it more difficult. So again, we're dealing with a full-fledged Geiris. Full-fledged Geiris. Yesh loy she'er ha'eim. She has a relative. The relativity is from the mother's side. Ve'en lo she'er ha'eim, but relative is not from the father's side. Her father's side. Good? So now, outside, guys. Herschel Yankelovich asked me yesterday, a Gershon is Gayish Dami, can you marry an Erva? I answered, Midaraisa, you could. Midarabonin, you can't. I'll tell you why. Think about this. He's in the world of, let's say he's in the world of, he's a guy. Can he marry his mother? A guy can't marry his mother. Guy cannot marry his mother. Good? He becomes a Jew. He's Gershon is Gayish Dami. Can he marry his mother? Yeah. So what are you going to say? You're going to say that you went 1 second. You were supposed to be up in Kedusha. You didn't go down in Kedusha. We had this in Yavamis, guys. We had this in Yavamis. So in other words, it's Midaraisa, you're right. Gershon, this guy is Mamish Kekon Shanata Dummy. Good? Mm-hmm. So now, if it's Usser in that world, it's going to be Usser in this world. If it's Usser in that world, it's going to be Usser in this world. Good? So he can't marry his mother. Can he marry his sister? Well, if you hold the she'er from the aim, that means achos me'imai, meaning he had a maternal sister. As a guy, he couldn't marry her. Consequently, if you say that as a Jew, of course he can't marry her. Because again, you'd say the same thing. I cut in Chanel dummy, but no, if he was asa then, it's going to be mutter now. So that's the statement we're making right now. I just saved you a rash. Says the Gemara, Ketzad nasa achoitza min ha'eim. If he marries his maternal sister, yaitza, he has to get divorced. I Gershon is guy in Kaddish Chanel and Dami. No, you know why he has to get divorced? Because when he was a guy, he was asked to marry his sister. Mina av, if he marries his paternal sister, Yikayim, they could stay together, no problem. Because why? Because as a ger, it was permitted. So this is an example of what? She'er from the aim, the relative machmas, the maternal side. Achais ha'av min ha'aim, if he marries his aunt, his his father's sister. But they had the same mother. Yaitza. Mina Av. If he marries his father's sister from the paternal side, Yikayim. Again, there's no tzad aim. Achar Sa'aim Mina Aim. If he marries his aunt from the maternal side, Yaitza. Achar Sa'aim Mina Av. Now this is the aunt, the maternal aunt from the paternal side. Rabbi Omer Yaitza, because you guys are at the Achar Mina Aim. Chamarim Yikayim. Shahay Rabbi Omer Kol Erba Shehi Mishum Sher Aim Yaitza Mishum Sher Av Yikayim. Good. So again, we're developing the kasha, guys. You didn't get the kasha yet. But why do you see Rabbi Meir holds that is from this side of all this list that since there was a she'er as a result of a relative relation to the mother, it was asar. To the father was mutter. This is in the realm of being a guy. And Memela, Gershon, that's the Firais. Gershon is guy you should be able to marry. But then you'll say, 1 second, as a guy you could marry, as a youth you could marry, so therefore you can't do it. Guys, you good so far? Mm-hmm. Good. Now, continuing the brayso, so we didn't get to the kasha yet. Umuta be'eshes achiv. He can marry eshes achiv after he dies, right? His wife, his sister-in-law he can marry. You can imagine, you're vomited by the guy, by a ger. Ube'eshes achi aviv, and he can marry the wife of his father's brother, his aunt. V'shar kol haroyos muteres loy. La'asuyei, this is important. La'asuyei eshes aviv. Include eshes aviv. He could marry his stepmother. He can marry his stepmother as long as his father's dead. Because if his father is alive, she's eshes ish. Nasa isha ubita. Let's say before he was Megayer, he married two women. They happen to be mother and daughter. So he marries mother and daughter. Koinis achas, after he's Megayer, he goes ahead and keeps one. Umaitzi achas, and he's maitzi the other. Ulichatchila lo yichnois. All the arroyos that we said that he could, don't do it. Don't do it. People might think that he's a Jew since his mother was Megayer before birth, and therefore they'll think he's a Jew. They'll not. Mesa Ishtai Mutta b'chamaisai. So in the case, fellas, where he married before his Megayer, he married a woman and a daughter. He now got married. He was Megayer. What did they say to do? Get rid of one of them. So let's say he went ahead and got rid of his what? He got rid of the mother-in-law. Now that his wife is dead, he can marry his mother-in-law. And those who says he can't marry his mother-in-law. Where's the kasha on Rav Meir? Let's see it inside. Right before the lines get really wide, guys, go up 2 lines. You won't be able to marry your mother-in-law. Hasan mefarish b'may pligi. The machlokes is in Yavamis. We don't have to go into that right now. Kitani mihas. Okay, here's the kasha again, guys. Why did Rabbi Meir hold? Anything that's asa machmaswat, Mrs. Bezdin, he's warned. Anything that's karas is not. Okay, let me give it to you outside, fellas. Was he muta in Eshes Av, his stepmother? Say yes. Why does Eshes Av, guys, in Mrs. Bezdin say skila? Is he muta?
Yeah.
There's a kasha. He said any time that in the realm of Mrs. Bezdin, right, it's going to be musar what in the realm of what of Jewish Judaism. 1 second. Eshes Av, you're telling me, is permitted, but 1 second, that's Chayv Mrs. Bezdin. He should not be able to marry what? His stepmother. Second kasha. Can he marry his maternal sister? Can he marry? Yes or no? No. He said before she can't. Why? If a man would marry his sister in Judaism, what does he get? Say karis. Karis. But you just said by karis they're not warned. So there's your 2 kashas. Eshes Av and a chaysai, geschmack. Again, look at me. Two rules, right? If it's death in Judaism, asa. If it's karis in Judaism, muta. Eshes Av is death in Judaism. Muta. Achaisa is not death in Judaism. Asa. So you just mom. Exactly. So the whole thing is bombed out, right? Good. Says the Gemara. Amar of Yehuda. So Amar loy kasha. You got to realize at that point the Brisa, that's the kasha. Amar of Yehuda loy kasha. Reb Meir alibud Reb Eliezer. The second Brisa that we just said is Reb Meir according to Reb Eliezer. Reb Meir alibud Reb Akiva. And the original Brisa where he gave us the rule of thumb of Karis' Mutta, and the other one, that's according to Rabbi Akiva. So in other words, Rabbi Meir learned by both Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Eliezer, and he was saying over two brises in the names of his Rebbe. The second brisa was the name of Rabbi Eliezer, and the first brisa was the name of Rabbi Akiva. Good. Now, what the Gemara is going to do now, basically till halfway, to almost the end of Daf, fellas, is to analyze those two shittas. And as a result of the analyzation, we will get clarity exactly what the parsha of what of Arayos is by a guy. Good, that's what we're going to do. So now the pasuk that we have to do, the pasuk that we have to do is Al Kain Yazav Ish Es Ave Ve'imai. This is what Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Torah says. Since Al Kain Yazav Ish Ave Ve'imai V'Davak B'Ishtay V'Hayil Basar Echad. Derech Agav, I'll tell you before we begin the difficult part. I'll tell you a very geshmak b'shat. In this parsha said after Adam couldn't find his mate. Adam looked among the animals, he couldn't find his mate, among all the animals. Adam goes ahead, and Hashem creates the rib, takes the rib or the side or the backside, whatever he took, creates chava, brings from the chava, and then he says, Zois hapam etzamei atzamei abasam b'sari. This is it. Al Kain, therefore, Yazav, what's the connection? Therefore, a person should leave his mother and his father. The animal kingdom, they live together only for procreation. Most of the time, the male lives separately, and they live separately. There's no special relationship that exists in the male kingdom, right? Why is that? Says the Ramban. Because they were created separately. You had the ground. All the animals came from the ground, correct? So the ground brought out a camel and a camel and a camelette, right? A Leo and Leora. They came out, okay, separately. The male, they are separate. Adam came out of the ground alone. She came from him. So that relationship is unique. Al Kain, therefore, since what? Since woman comes from man, Yazav Ishes Avav Imai, which is a separate entity, and they should go ahead in Davik Be'ishtoi, where you can go ahead for you, Basarecha, the special, unique relationship, beautiful Shever Brachas Torah, by the way, if you want. So it really is. It's Geshmak. And that's the Ramban on this pasuk. Okay, having said that, let's get to the hard part. We're going to darshan this pasuk. Rabbi Meir is, according to Rabbi Eliezer, is going to darshan it one way. Rabbi Meir, according to Rabbi Akiva, is going to darshan the pasuk a totally different way. Okay, let's see it inside. But we have the teretz to the kasha. Rav Yehuda, like kasha, Rabbi Meir. No. The Tanya. Al Kain Yazav Ishes Aviv Imai. Rabbi Eliezer Oime Aviv. When it says he should leave his father, you know who his father is? It doesn't mean really his father. It means Achis Aviv. It means what? The sister of his father. That's what it means. Imai, Achais Imai. It means the sister of it from his mother. So, derasa, and Kol Shekain, a full sister. Okay, that's Rabbi Eliezer's sister's also. Rabbi Akiva says, Aviv means Ashes Aviv. Aviv does not mean your father's sister. It means the father's wife. Imai Mamish. Good. So that guy is the setup. Like Reb Meir, since he learns it for Achos, so therefore Ashes Av is permitted. Guys, why did the Brisa say Ashes Av is permitted? Because Rabbi Eliezer darshans it for Achos. We said the first Brisa said Ashes Av was also because it's Chayve Mises. That's Rabbi Akiva who darshans Aviv, Ashes Aviv, right? The Gemara is going to ask, why don't you darshan Aviv literally? Why don't you say it's also to his father? Okay. And his mother, Imai Mamish. V'davak, v'loy bezachar. Rashi brings v'davak, that people stay together when they have a na in relations. When in relations, but by mishkav zachar, there's no hana for the nishkav. There's no hana for the nishkav. Be'ishtoi, there's aviv ish v'davak be'ishtoi, v'loy be'ishes chaveroi. And not what? And not eshes ish. V'hoyil basar echad Misha nasim basar echad, a union that the males, the zera of the male and the beitza of the female could create a child. Yatsa behema v'chaya sheinasim basar echad, that they can't be basar echad. So the latter part of the pasuk, they basically dash in the same. The machloikis guys is in the beginning of the pasuk when it says al ken yaziv es aviv, that's achas aviv esimoy achas imoy. Right? And Rabbi says no. Rabbi Akiva says no. Aviv is Eishes Aviv, and Imay is Imay Mamish. Now Omar, going back over the Bryce. In other words, that's the end of the teretz, guys. That's the end of the teretz. You had a kasha, you had a stira. We answered the stira. First Bryce is Rabbi Meir according to Rabbi Akiva. The second Bryce is Rabbi Meir according to Rabbi Eliezer. Are we all on the same page, guys? I'm saying I'm talking a lot. We're good. Okay, great. Omar, going back over the Bryce. Rabbi Eliezer Omer. Aviv means Achais Aviv. Imay means Aviv Mamish. Gemara, why don't you say Aviv Mamish? It says, Hainu v'davak, v'lei b'zachar. You just said, right? V'davak, v'lei b'zachar. I don't need Aviv to aser a male. I know that from v'davak asers a male, mishkav zachar. Ema Eishes Aviv. So why didn't he say Aviv is Eishes Aviv? What, like Rabbi Akiva? Hainu b'ishtoi, v'lei b'eishes chaveiroi. That's ishtoi, v'lei b'eishes chaveiroi. In other words, his father's wife is also al Eishes Ish. So I don't need the pasuk to tell me that the stepmother's asa. I know that from Eishes Ish. Ema la'acha misa. Maybe it's to answer la'acha misa. Maybe it means to me after he's dead that you can't marry after you're dead. Says so, ma imay de lavishis, right? Av aviv de lavishis. Just like imay is not asa because of marriage, so too it can't be what else marriage. So he'll darshan, guys. He won't darshan Eishes Av. How does Eishes Av become asa? Only through marriage to the father. So darshan achos, which is what has nothing to do with marriage. It's a blood, guys. He's going to ask a blood relationship. Imoy is a blood relationship, so Aviv must be a blood relationship. Eishes Av is not a blood relationship, but achos is. Good. Imoy. So now it says the lavishas. Imoy, achos imoy. That so now he said it means achos imoy. Ve'ema imoy mamish. Says after all, his mother was married to the father. To go said to ask the mother after the father's not around anymore. Said the aviv, ma aviv the lav mamish. Just like aviv did not mean mamish the father, it meant bad achos aviv. Afimoy the lav mamish. It means mamish. It must be achos imoy and not what and not imoy mamish. This is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. This is Rabbi Eliezer's opinion. So we're dashing achos and not eshesav. Good. So according to him, eshesav would be permitted. Rabbi Akiva Omer, again, achamisa would be permitted. Guys, eshesav would not be permitted if still married, but not als eshesav. That would be als eshes ish. Guys, you hit it there. Eshes av, stepmother wouldn't be asa only after the father's out of the picture. If the father's still in the picture, she's asa because eshes ish. Now, what about Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva is Ashita, right? Rabbi Akiva is where we got Ashita from. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Aviv means Eishes Aviv. It means your stepmother. The same kasha, maybe to ask your father. Hainu v'davak v'lei b'zachar. That I know from the latter part of the pasuk. Ihachi Eishes Aviv nami hainu b'ishtay v'lei b'eishes chaveiroi. Why do I need Aviv? Go ahead and say that a stepmother is not permitted, is asa. I know that from the latter part of the pasuk. She's an Eishes Ish. Why do I need a pasuk to tell me that a stepmother is asa? She's asa or Eishes Ish. On that it says lachamisa. You know what the chiddush is? After she's not an Eishes Ish anymore, after the father is out of the picture, stepmother asa. Why? Because aviv v'lo Eishes Aviv. Imay mamish. Why do we imay mamish? Hainu b'ishtay v'lo Eishes chaveiroi. She was married to what? The father. So she's asha what? I'll say Ish. Says the Gemara, let's say the mother wasn't married. Let's say the male, Ms. Ma'anis' mother, forced himself on the mother, therefore doesn't have a father. So therefore, you can't learn it out from Ish, because she was never married. So what do you need? Imay Mamish. So now, guys, so where's the main major machlokes? Imay v'aviv. Rabbi Meir, according to Rabbi Eliezer, achas imay achas aviv. Rabbi Akiva, eshes aviv, and imay mamish. But my kamifli, what's the svaras the machlokes?
Because he was talking about a guy, is all
guy. The Adam Rishon. This is Adam Rishon. Adam Rishon was even more than a Ben Noach. He came before.
why you need to davar to ask Mishkan Zocher. There's a pasuk in Vayikra that asks Mishkan Zocher.
So as I pointed out clearly, the Isser of Mishkav Zacha to a Yid and to a Goy are two separate parshiyos. We just said Shvichas Damim, right? We spoke about abortion, rumors to it. Our pasuk is Maka Nefesh, right? Their pasuk is what? Shafech Dam Adam Ba'adam. It's a different parsha. Their parsha is Lema, totally different parsha. They don't need Adim, they don't need Hasra, they don't need Daim. It's a totally different parsha, Bobby. So now, the Maika Miflaki. Now, what's the machloikas between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva? Why did they darshan the way they darshan? Rabbi Akiva savar. Rabbi Akiva is of the opinion, right? Rabbi Akiva is of the opinion. Aviv dum yedimai v'imai dum yav. In other words, I need consistency. Therefore, I'll say achas aviv, achas me'imai. Right? Loi mishkachas la ela ba'achva. You only find it ba'achva. Then they'll both be the same. Fellas, right? Why did Rabbi Akiva say, fellas? Guys, look at me. Rabbi Akiva said, Aviv, Eishes Aviv. Imai mamish. No shaykhis to Aviv imai. What the motivation for Rabbi Eliezer was, I need imai v'aviv to be the same. The only way I can find the same is the sisters. Good? Rabbi Akiva, mutiv lo'ukmi be'eshes aviv, the ikri ervas aviv. We had this earlier in the parak, right? What does the pasuk say? The pasuk says, ervas avichahi. It says, the pasuk says, ervas aviv, dichsiv, ervas avichahi. And it didn't mean ervas avicha. It meant the erva of eshes avicha. So in other words, guys, Rabbi just brought in Parshas in Vayikra. Good? So look, he just brought in Achrei Mos. Look at me, guys, look at me. You have a parsha in Bereshis that says, Al ken yazavish es aviv. Good? We have a parsha in Vayikra saying, ervas aviv. And there, you know what ervas aviv meant? Eshes aviv. So who didn't know what it means, Eshes aviv? It means I have a raya to it. That's what it means. It's geschmack. But so I don't need it to be exact. I have, what's my motivation, says Rabbi Akiva? Mutiv l'ukmi be'eshes aviv, the ikre ervas aviv, because that's called ervas aviv. Lafuke aches aviv, the she'er aviv ikri, ervas aviv la ikri. It's called the she'er, it's called a relative of, but it's not called the mamish the erva. Okay, so now you have, that's the two parshas. Okay, now, l'inyan halacha. I put it out there, guys, you can look, it's on your phones. It's on your phone. Enough that I sent it to you. You won't have to see. You don't have to see it on your phone. I'm going to put it on the screen in a second. I'm going to put it. So who is the halacha like? So here we go. Sheish. Oh, what happened? Okay. Sheish aroyas asurs al bnei Noach. 6 aroyas asat ben Noach. Guys, this is in Perik Tes Halacha Hey. Perik Tes Halacha Hey in Malachim. Ha'aim 1, Eishes Av 2. Who are we passing like, guys? Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer. Say Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva. Ha'aim, the mother, Aim Mamish. Eishes Av, that's Eishes Av. Al Ken Yazav Eishes Av V'imai. Eishes Ish, right? Ishtoi v'Eishes Chaveroi. Achoisei Me'imai, maternal. V'zachar, male, ubehema, and female, and behema. Okay, those are the 6. Shenemar, al ken yazavish es aviv zu eshes aviv, ves imoy kimashma imoy mamish, v'davak be'ishtoi v'loi be'eshes chaveroi, v'davak be'ishtoi v'loi be'zachar, v'hoyel basar echad l'hoitzi behema chayev v'oif, she'ein hu v'heim basar echad. Now, how do you know, guys? Achos me'imoy. It's not in the pasuk, guys. Guys, how do you know achos me'imoy? It's not in the pasuk. V'nemar achosi bas avihi, achloi bas imi v'atihila leisha. When Avram Avinu goes ahead and he tells Avimelech that Sarah is what? Is a paternal relation and not a maternal relation. You see, if it would have been a maternal relation, Itaka would have been Asa. And that's how you know what? Achos me'im. Geshmak is anything. We're going to see that in a second. But now you have a achlata, the sugya, right? We do the sugya, we nicely set up, and we got everything is geshmak. I like when I say everything is geshmak because I understand, and I assume you do too. I got a lot of bobbleheads, a lot of positive bobbleheads over there, right? So Baruch Hashem. Okay. Anyway, Gishma. It's very Gishmak. Okay, Tashma. And so now we're going to ask questions. We're going to see who's right, Rabbi Akiva or Rabbi, which one makes sense. Tashma. Would Amram have been over on Ben Noach? Guys, would Amram have ever been over on Ben Noach? Prove it to me. Amram is one of the people who never did an Avera in his life. He's one of the four. Guys, Amram was in the big four. So obviously, he could not have been over on a Gilead Royce of Ben Noach. Nothing likes it. Obviously, he could have been over on a Gilead Ben Noach. So now, he took Yecheved his aunt. My love, Daidasai mina aim. You see, he took his maternal aunt. Who's this Akasha on? Rabbi Eliezer. It's Akasha and Rabbi Eliezer. Loi Daidasai mina av. It's not Akasha and Rabbi Eliezer. He took his paternal. Okay. Tashma. Now this is what Avram Avinu tells Avimelech. He comes and he tells Avimelech the following. He says, you should know, the Gam Omnam Achoisi Bas Avihu, really she is what? Achoisi, that my sister, the daughter of my father, Achle Bas Imi, but not the daughter of my mother. Now, in fact, she was not either one. She was the daughter of Haran. And that was the brother. In other words, Avram married his niece. And a niece is even after Matan Torah is permitted. Sarah was permitted to Avram, no problem. No problem there. But it's mashma, had she been Achoisai Bas Achas, it would have been a problem. So that what is a riot to Rabbi Eliezer and a kasha on Rabbi Akiva. Says the Gemara. Toshma, v'gam omnam Achoisi Bas Avihi, Achlei Bas Imi, Mechal de Bas Eima Surah, and like Rabbi Akiva it's Muta. V'tizbara Achoisa Have, was it really a sister? In other words, Taka, if it was a Choisei, Taka would be Asa, but it wasn't a Choisei. Bas Achiv Havi, it was his brother's, it was his niece. He was what? The daughter of his brother, Haran. The Kivin the Hachihu, like Shna ben Av, like Shna ben Aim, there's no difference. Shariat's permitted. But guys, you hear the diak from here. The diak here, had she Taka been a sister from the mother, the Taka would have been Asa. And that's where the Rambam gets the sixth one. That's where the Rambam got the sixth one from here. Because Taka, had it been, it would have been Asa. El Hasam Hachi Kamalei. Kurva da Achva Isli Bahada. May Abba V'lemim. Any relation I have to her is from the father and not the mother, and therefore it's not a problem. Tashma. Why didn't Adam marry his daughter? Does anyone have a problem with this? Doesn't he have a wife? Why would you have why did he marry his daughter? Because he's married already. He needs more tsaris. Yeah, Adam Arisha had enough tsaris. He didn't want tsaris. Top toys, guys. Adam Shekisha Achlach Chava min Eitz Hadas Haisaroi Lamus Miyad. She should have gone ahead, and died immediately. So therefore, he should have married her. He could have taken her. In other words, the reason why she was kept alive is that he should go ahead and do chesed and let him marry. But again, she should have died. Now, I'm suggesting this pshat, guys. I'm suggesting this pshat. Rashi brings that Adam was Pirish Me'ishtay for 130 years. Rashi brings that Adam, after the Cheder Sadatz, he didn't live with Chava for 130 years. V'haraya, Sheis is born in the year 130. Sheis we come from Sheis, right? Sheis, we come from Sheis. So he was born in the year 130 because for those 130 separated. So maybe the shot would be, again, there's a mitzvah, Adam was commanded in Pir V'Rivya. He doesn't have a wife, so therefore, if he separated from her because of what? Because of what she did, right? Memela, so he could have married his daughter. Again, Cain had a twin, Hevel had a triplet. So there were females in the world. So maybe that's the Peshat. Maybe maybe because he had the command of Pir V'Rivya, so maybe in order to Mekayim it, he could have gone ahead and married his daughter, if not for this reason. And then we're going to bring this in for a reason in a second.
But he was still married to Chava.
Okay, a man could take two wives, no problem. What?
He was Mekoyim Mitzvah originally.
What?
Was he not Mekoyim Mitzvah originally? He had the other two, and the daughters.
Maybe okay. The Shevis Yitzhara. You'll have the mitzvah Shevis to populate the world. Okay. So it's not a good teretz. Okay, it's not a good teretz. Not a good teretz. Not a good teretz. Okay, I tried. Again, I'm asking. I'm not going to shtel sich on the teretz. I tell you. Yeah, but they thought the world was destroyed.
Right, I'm saying, but that's so they had a good scorer.
Yeah.
If Adam could have married his daughter, they could have married the father.
They're mutter. We just did a sugya. Rabbi, did it say over here that a ben noach's asa bebitai? They were mutter. Right? The Ramban says it was never done before and was davar mechuya ad ma'oid, but it's mutter. They didn't have to go. The Ramban says by benos loit they would snuais, and therefore they, in other words, why did they have to get him drunk? Why don't they go say marry us if it's permitted? If ben noach is mutter bebitai, then why didn't they say marry us? The world is destroyed, but we repopulate the world. They would snuais, or because it was never done before. But that's the Ramban says it.
This would have been Isha Bita also.
She was dead.
Who Chava?
No, this would have been Isha Bita, but Isha Bita is permitted.
To a guy?
Yeah, sure. We just had before. Right? Megaya, you have to get after Megaya, you get rid of one of them.
No, we had that story.
We had a good story out.
We did
We've
that.
been there, done that. The Ramosha, we brought in the story of Ramosha. Okay, anyway, so now we're going to bring this in. Toshma, right? Kadesha Yisa Kainas Achoisai, that Kain should marry his sister. Shnemar Ki Amarti Oilum Chesed Yibana. Halav Hachi, if not for this concept, Asira, she would have been Asa. Kasha and Rabbi Akiva. Let's see Rashi, guys. Chesed Yibana, Chilasa Shal Oilam Nivna Bechesed. Shetziva Adam Rishon Ligmal Chesed. Adam was commanded to do Chesed with his son. V'Yasraloi, V'Tira Lakayin, and he did Chesed by mattering something that was Asa. Kadeshi Yibana Oilam. V'Hainu D'Chsiv. That what it says. Isha Sheyikach Es Achoisei Bas Aviv Chesed Hu Mashe Tarti Lakayin Chesed Gemalti Imai. So therefore, but you see that without the Chesed of Kayin, it would have been Asa. So you see, it's a Kashan Rabbi Akiva that Achois is Asa. Says the Gemara, no, even the Ishtri. Rabbi Akiva says once it was Mutta, was Mutta. Maybe before it was Asa, but now that once Kayin did it, then the cat was out of the bag, was good. Rav Huna says Rav Huna, Kuti Mutta bebitai. There you go. A guy is Mutta bebitai. Rabavi. Vim Taimar mifnei malay nasa adam es bitai. So why did he marry his daughter? Kadeshi yasa kain es achaisai. V'shemayel chesed yibana. V'ikad amri Rav Huna kuti asa bebitai. So a kuti is asa bebitai. Teda shlei nasa adam es bitai. Right. So that. So now this is shver bein l'Rebbe Eliezer bein l'Rebbe Akiva. Rashi says the Ksav Rav Huna lo yafinu she'er aroyos mehanach t'ksivi b'haikra midaparit kolhani shmamina dafka kasivnu, that they had the that it was dafka that again l'chayra what's the kasha like both. I see the kasha like Rebbe Akiva. Why is the kasha like Rebbe? Why does Rashi say it's a kasha like Rebbe Eliezer? Why is the kasha like Rebbe? Why is the kasha like Rebbe Eliezer? But anyway, the bottom line is, mashmad out. You said that daughter. No, I'm sure, guys. Bitai, daughter. So Rav Huna says the daughter is muta, and if you can say so, if the daughter is muta, why didn't he marry? Because olam chesed yibaneh, right? So v'ikad amri Rav Huna kuti asa bebitai. A kuti is asa bebitai teda. Adam is bitai v'layi. It's not true. Could right? Hasamaynu time kadesh yisa kind of sachaysei mishum doilam chesed yibana. Rav Chisda Eved, an Eved Kanani mutta beimoi mutta bebitai. Now, imoi, a guy is asa beimoi, a mutta beimoi, mutta bebitai. Kimin sheyatsa mechal kuti. Once he leaves the kuti rule, once he doesn't become a guy anymore, but he doesn't become a yid, that's right. He's like a ger, and what is a ger? Now, once he's a ger, he can marry his mother and he can marry his daughter. Kagershin is kaya kachon oladami. Ulachal Yisrael loiba, and he didn't come to Klal Yisrael yet. Therefore, you won't be geyser on mother. No, guys, what's the svara? Guys, outside. We said earlier, Gershon is guy Shanol Dami. So could a person marry his mother? Ostensibly, yes. Why can't you marry your mother? Because you'll say, look, when he was a guy, he couldn't. Now as a yid, he could. So now it's very geschmack. And Evid's not a guy, and he's not a yid. So you're not going to say anything. He's kind of a middleman. So when he was a guy, and when he was a Kanani, he's out of the ballpark. But now he's mutter bebitoi, and he's mutter his mother, and he's mutter his daughter. You know why? Because he's Megayer, and you can't make what? You can't make the Isser of a Jew because it doesn't exist yet. So that's the chiddush of what that's the chiddush of Rav Chisda. Eved Kanani is mutter b'imay mutter bebitoi was because since Yatzim Mechal Kute u'Chal Yisrael Leiba. Kiyasar of Dimi Amar Olaza Amar Rabbi Chanina Ben Noach Sheyichet Shivcha LaAvdai. We had this yesterday. Ben Noach goes ahead and it's miyached is Shivcha for his Eved. Uba Alaha, and the guy, the master, comes onto this woman that is miyached. Nerag Alaha, she's an Eishes Ish, she'll die for Gilead Royas. Me'emas, when is she considered miyuchet to him? So Amar Rabbi Nachman, mit the Karila, Revisa de Planya, they call her that it's so and so, Mrs. Slave. Me'emas hatrasa, when is she mutter? Rav Huna, there's no get. Rav Huna, Mishapara Roisha B'Shuk, when she goes and blazing cup in the street. Guys, you hear this? You hear this? Look at the Rashi, the first wide line. Mishapara Roisha B'Shuk. This is speaking about goyim. Shahayiragilis afanachriyais hanasuais shledatze b'reish prua. Even the goyish woman would not go out with their hair uncovered. I'd rather have your phone ring and share.
You can do that also.
I'd rather have your phone ring and share. Anyway, so this is the din. Okay, that it's no man's land a little bit, right? He's no man's little bit, and the Gemara goes right. Amar Balaz, Amar Chanina, Ben Noach Shabal Ishta Shalei Kedarka, a Ben Noach that's Baal Isha Shalei Kedarka Chayev, Shenemar V'Davak V'Lei Shalei Kedarka. Davak means lo chayred normal. Amar Rava Miyik immediately Yisrael and Mechayev V'Kutim Mechayev. How could it be? A Jew is not a Jew if Baal Shalei Kedarka is not Chayev. El Amar Rava Ben Noach Shabal Eishes Chaveru. Let's amend it. Don't Shaloi Kedarka potter. In other words, if he does an act of adultery with a bia Shaloi Kedarka, he would be potter. He would not be chayiv. My time. What's the reason? Beishtay v'loy beishes chaveroi v'davek v'loy Shaloi Kedarka, but not Shaloi Kedarka means it's dafka Kedarka and not Shaloi Kedarka. Amram Chanina Ovi Kechavim Shehika is Yisrael chayiv misa. And Ovi Kechavim that hits a Jew is chayiv misa. Shenemar vayifen koi v'choi Moshe Rabbeinu gezuchta. Right? V'yera ki ein ish v'yachas ha-mitzri, and he hit the mitzri. V'amar Rab Chanina, ha-soiter loya shel Yisrael, someone smacks the mouth of Yisrael, ki l'soiter loya shel Shechina. Shnemar mukish adam yola kodesh. Okay, we'll stop over here.
They're not.